Ready?
Cool.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Hey, Insiders!
Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining us and bearing with us. Well, we are so excited to continue this discussion.
Dealing with technology issues, we really appreciate your help.
Yeah, you guys have been amazing. But yeah, we are here to talk about Spider-Man and the Sony and Disney debacle and what is going on. We're going to keep you guys updated on everything that's been happening. And this is going to be a great discussion because we want to hear what you guys have to say and we want to kind of inform you on what's new and what's been going on. So
yeah. Let's keep our fingers
give you guys
crossed. I think we're
a couple
good.
minutes to get here, like.
Yeah, but then, well, let's get started.
Yeah.
It'll be cool.
Yeah,
We're starting very soon.
I'm just checking all our...
Hey everyone!
I think we're working. Yay.
Rachel, Lori, Donna, Emily, hi you guys.
Thank you
What's
for
up,
coming
guys?
back. We really
And
appreciate
hey, Matt.
Hey, what's
Oh,
up, Matt? Thank you
Matt.
everyone on both our platforms who are checking out this stream. This is going to be a great one.
All right.
So,
Are we ready?
we're giving everyone a second to get here, but we have literally
Yes.
so much that we're ready to talk about.
Oh, yeah. Yes, we're excited. We're back too. Yes. Woohoo!
Woohoo! I know, and hopefully it's stronger than ever.
We're here to stay this time.
Yeah.
Yes, hopefully this works out.
We got our little fun piece of tech here that should hopefully make everything better. Alright, so...
Use the magic.
Oh, Bernadette
Exactly.
has a good acronym. WWSLD. What would Stan Lee do?
Ooh.
Yes! We need that right now.
What would
That is
Stan Lee
brilliant.
do?
Spider-Man
Thank you.
was literally
Now-
his favorite.
Yeah,
so
Spider-Man-
It would be interesting to wonder what he would do.
So to give you guys a little bit of background on Spider-Man, Stan Lee created the Marvel Cinematic Universe without Spider-Man a part of it originally.
Right.
And
Right?
Spider-Man was just his side hustle hobby that he did instead of his actual MCU work.
Right.
Exactly,
Well, and more
so-
than MCU, obviously, just the Marvel Comics multiverse.
Exactly.
Yes,
Spider-Man was
Oh yeah,
literally...
cinematic. Yes,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
comic
Cinematic.
the
universe.
comic universe.
Yeah.
Marvel comic universe.
Right.
Anyway, you knew that.
Yeah, so while he was doing the comics, he was also doing this side hustle, which was Spider-Man. So it's really close to Stan Lee's heart, so obviously he would hate to see this huge debacle going back and forth between
I
the two
know.
companies. So I think it's time that we jump right in. I'm ready
Are
when
you
you
ready to
are.
jump in? We got
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we got people watching, and I think it's ready we jumped in.
I got our thread on YouTube.
Yeah. So, we're going to start with the Sony and MCU deal has been tumbling down,
Yeah, it's like crumbling before our eyes.
and it's kind of sad, unfortunately.
We're very sad. But, you know...
So, most recently, Spider-Man Far From Home raked in over $1 billion globally.
That is insane.
Seriously.
That's the most successful we've ever seen a Spider-Man movie do, even though it's had
Ever.
like 7 attempts
Yeah.
at this point.
Yeah,
It is
seriously. So
tons
many
and
attempts
tons.
to reboot Spider-Man, and this one got $1 billion.
Over. Yeah.
Over $1 billion.
It literally, this is the third Spider-Man reboot that we've had so far, and it's done the best, and so the fact that there's all this controversy around it is really sad.
It
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
So, one of the things I wrote down, which I thought was really interesting, is that
Yeah.
we're pretty much engaged in like a giant real-life game of Monopoly right
Yeah,
now.
like,
Okay,
this is Boardwalk and Park Place, and Sony and Disney are fighting over the
Over
territory.
Boardwalk and Park Place.
right,
Exactly.
because obviously Disney wants to put a hotel on Spider-Man and expand it and make Tom Holland the future of the MCU,
Right.
whereas Sony has its own plans.
Exactly, which
Obviously.
is very interesting.
Clearly.
So,
Of course, this could all be, like, Hollywood drama, because they love to over-dramatize things.
yeah, and it could be blown way out of proportion, we understand.
We get
Right.
that, and talks aren't even officially over yet. There's no official
There's no
announcement.
official announcement, it's just like been theorized, the talks are over. So,
If
Yeah.
you noticed, in the end of Far From Home in the credits, there was no Spider-Man will return because they didn't have official word until it made $1 billion.
exactly,
Exactly.
and in the movies like the Guardians of the Galaxy, they said the Guardians of the Galaxy will return, the
All
Avengers will
three.
return.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
did
all
not
that
get to
good
see
stuff.
that.
Yeah, we did not get that with Spider-Man,
But,
so
the future does not look very bright.
yes.
Unfortunately.
Sadly,
So-
very sadly.
Let's tone it all back a second and talk about the facts.
Alright, let's get into some quick little work.
Good, hard details.
Yes, and I know this is very factual and very different from our regularly scheduled Disneyland fun live streams, but
Yes.
it was breaking news. We wanted you guys to feel
We wanted
updated
to
and
really
in
Oh,
on the
yeah,
know.
do it.
and we will get to the discussion part as soon as we get the groundwork down.
Yeah.
All you guys who don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
exactly.
thank you for joining us on this. We appreciate it.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
and obviously all you people that kept coming back as we struggled with our technology, we really appreciate you guys bearing with us.
Yeah, you guys are the best. Thank you.
Alright, are we ready to kick in?
We're ready to kick in.
All right.
So, right now, Disney makes 5% of the gross profits of Spider-Man, while Sony makes the other 95%.
So as you can see, it's not exactly.
It's not exactly even.
Right. So when Disney obviously used all of their resources to make Far From Home, they said, "Hey, can we change it to 50-50?"
Right, because Spider-Man is such a critical part of the MCU
It's
right now.
really becoming a staple because
They
with-
want Spider-Man to be the new Iron Man, pretty much, is what they're
because
talking
with the
about.
effects of Endgame, Spider-Man was really their big hope.
Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
And Sony basically shut it down with no negotiation.
Right, yeah, they had nothing to do with the 50-50 negotiation. They're like,
Yeah.
we're not having it, which is totally what they're in the middle of a fight with right now.
Mhm.
Yeah, obviously Spider-Man is the main point of this fight. Because that's
Right,
where the
exactly.
the
It's about
ownership
Spider-Man,
is.
right? That's where the ownership is. Because originally, back in the day, before there was the MCU, Stan Lee sold the rights to Spider-Man to Sony.
Right.
So that's why they aren't originally included, but they still want him in, and so it's been this really big
And
thing that's been going back and forth.
He's become such a staple in such a short amount of time.
Exactly.
Everyone loves him.
Right. So, what this got us like really thinking, right? Whether this is actually happening or could be happening.
And if it is, what does that mean for the franchise?
Right.
Yeah, that's what we really want to know.
What we want to know is what would happen if Sony and Disney aren't able to work this out and Sony takes back all ownership of Spider-Man.
Exactly, because there's one thing we know is that they're only keeping one actor contracted, and that's Tom Holland.
Right.
Exactly.
Which is a good thing. I
Top-
mean, we
right.
don't need another Spider-Man. We've already had
We've already had 3, we don't need a 4th.
But
So-
all those other characters are no longer in contract and probably signed exclusive things with
Oh, yeah.
Marvel Studios and Disney.
Right.
So,
So-
you would think.
We wouldn't have Zendaya as MJ, or we wouldn't have Ned. There would be no mention.
There'd be no Edith glasses.
Yeah.
We would lose the Happy Hogan line. We
Right.
would lose everything that ties this story to
the Marvel
Cinematic Universe. But then
Wow.
transition to the Sony Cinematic Universe. Yeah, it would go back to the Sony universe, and in the Sony universe, that's where you have Venom and all of those kind of darker stories and characters.
Right.
No.
No Peter Tingle.
No Peter
we
Tingle.
would lose our Peter Tingle and our Aunt May Happy Hogan like love thing that's been going on.
Oh my goodness.
We would lose some of that charm that we've gotten.
Yeah,
in the
obviously.
current movies.
It would all
So-
be gone with no explanation.
With the snap of a finger. So anyways.
Anyway, but just to touch up on the future of the franchise, there's a possibility that what they're conveying is that because all these other characters aren't under contract, and Far From Home, Spider-Man's identity was revealed as a villain for the death of Mysterio.
Right.
Some people are saying he's going to go into hiding, and we're going to not see any of those characters for that reason.
Right. So there's two things that could happen. They really set it up at the end of Far From Home to be ready for something like this because they kind of saw it coming.
Right, because Disney was excited for Spider-Man 3.
Right. However, they
Exactly.
also knew that there was like this really big licensing problem that they were having. So, yeah, it's been a big debate.
It's just
And by setting it up so that Spider-Man's identity was revealed, like Eric said, that means he can go into hiding and they can completely separate him from the rest of the MCU and put him in his own little universe. off in the corner.
exactly. And
Right, he would just
What?
be...
It's like Kara.
maybe if it all comes back together and when the time is right, we will get our Spider-Man back in the MCU.
Right, so even if things don't work out and Sony takes over, there's still a possibility that he could slide right back into the MCU once things work their way out.
Right, because the
Exactly.
same way he was slid in the first place, obviously, at the beginning of Phase 3 of the MCU, he could obviously go back in very well.
Right,
Mhm.
in the middle of Phase 4, Phase 5, so there's so much room for them to add or take away Spider-Man based on what they need to do.
Exactly. Hi, Brandon.
Hi everyone, we're
Oh,
doing
yeah.
great, thank you
Yes.
so much.
So
We're
everyone for just joining. Hi.
yeah, oh, Bernadette said Peter would lose another father figure, aka Happy.
That is kind of
That would be so sad, I know.
Yeah.
Because, and the worst part is that they can't even explain it in the MCU or in Sony
Because they
because,
can't even mention those characters.
yeah, they wouldn't have the rights to the Spider-Man name and we even
Yeah,
mention
it would be just
It
there
would
would be no explanation,
He
which
would
would be
turn to dust, disappear right in our hearts.
there would just be
He
a
did.
big hole in the MCU.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's right.
It's
Yeah.
like the biggest plot hole ever.
Yeah, and they literally can't answer it.
Right. literally none of the critics can blame any creative team for the things because it's all they have to deal with.
Yeah, Matt, we would very definitely lose Marissa Tomei.
I know, and Marissa Tomei is one of like our favorite Aunt Mays. I know she's a little younger than
most Aunt Mays
are
So
supposed to be.
so is Tom Holland anyway. They're just both
Interaction
young.
with Happy, it's just, I ship it. I honestly ship it.
Yeah, it's such a great.
Yeah.
I love it. Let's see.
Oh, see, that's good. People, obviously, Jeremy Renner is posting things saying
Yeah.
he wants Spider-Man to say. I'm sure there'll be a huge social media campaign
Oh yeah.
Oh,
about-
yeah.
keeping
totally.
Spider-Man with the MCU because that's where it belongs.
And the MCU has such a loyal and huge fan base that
They really do. I mean,
hopefully we can band together and get this back.
yeah. Well,
And-
Yeah.
see, and the MCU is part of why this movie is doing so well in the first place is because
Right.
it's part of the Marvel Cinematic
Obviously,
Universe.
with Homecoming
Exactly.
and Far From Home, those movies did so well because they were related to Marvel, and a lot of MCU fans may not watch the movie once.
Once it's turned over to Sony.
Exactly.
As I'm saying this using a Sony camera.
Love to Sony, love to Sony.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, but
However, Marvel is where it's at.
It is.
yeah,
very, very
it's a
true.
tough move.
Yeah. So, as what? Spider-Man 3.
Bernadette said Peter forgets everything
And-
because of amnesia.
Oh yeah, Spider-Man 3. Peter gets amnesia, forgets everything that ever happened in the MCU.
Man, at the moment, we really do have Spider-Man homeless.
Oh, Spider-Man homeless.
We have
Yeah.
Far From Home, Homecoming, and Homeless.
That's so
That's
sad.
tough. That's tough,
It's
Kara.
like, this is the third Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
Homeless.
Okay, so
Maybe 2.5.
yeah, so as we,
Ooh.
That's here now.
oh, very cool.
Ooh.
Anyway, sorry.
So as we're gathering all this information, this is not the final funeral at the end of the movie by a lake, right?
Right.
Like there
Yeah.
wasn't in game. This, what this is the inciting incident in the middle of the movie, and we have to root for our heroes because I'm sure that they'll come through by the end of the movie.
Yes,
and
that's
be able
what
to
we
work
can
something
hope
out.
for.
Yeah,
we
we
can
can-
look.
We just can't give up hope yet.
Yeah,
It's not
because
hopeless.
it's the middle of the movie, not the end of the movie, so there's still hope that we won't lose
Or
everything.
maybe it's like the
Exactly.
Infinity War where we lost and Endgame is about to happen, and then Disney will snap its fingers.
Snap its fingers and everything will go back.
Everything will be back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's been a very exciting day for Marvel
Yes,
fans and
so
Spider-Man
many things
fans.
have happened. As
Oh,
you
yeah.
can tell, we've already been talking for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, have we?
12 minutes.
Yeah, we've been talking for 12 minutes. and-
Foreshadowing.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you. Yes, exactly. What's so great about the Marvel Cinematic Universe is that it's 22 movies that all like tie together into one
Exactly.
massive epic
Right.
story. Yeah.
It's just, the writing is so complex and connected, and I love it so much. It's what
Yeah.
makes the MCU so great.
Right, and I forgot what the guy's name is. The MCU guy that's been directing this
Oh.
Spider movie so far.
Kevin Feige.
Yeah.
So Kevin Feige has been a huge part. He's a huge head at the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah.
And has been pretty much directing
And
Spider-Man
Spider-Man
movies.
movies.
All of
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, and
And-
so if he would then leave the franchise as it turned back over to Sony, so we would lose all of his like creative genius that he's put into the film so far and get someone
Exactly.
brand new.
Right, because they obviously have to hire a different director because contract details when it moves to a different studio is very heavy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's-
Matt Allen seems one of our fans seems very confident that Disney will not lose this one. So tying everything back to Disneyland, since we are the Disneyland insiders.
Yeah.
Kind of our thing. But
if Disney lost the rights to Spider-Man, there would be no way for them to add the much anticipated Spider-Man roller coaster in Marvel Land.
yes,
Right.
a big piece of Marvel Land, obviously, formerly Bugs Band.
Yeah, formerly Bugs Land, but
Yeah.
the new
Anyway.
Marvel Land is going to be very empty. It would be a very big hole
Right,
because they
because-
wouldn't own Spider-Man.
Because
Yeah.
they were actually going to make it a roller coaster, and it was going to be really exciting, and it was
Mhm.
going to be a Spider-Man themed ride, which
They
has
would,
pretty
like-
much gone down now.
They would
Right.
have to totally retheme it.
Yeah, they really would. They'd have to turn to something else, and yeah, it would be really sad to see our favorite web slinger Tom Holland and Spider-Man leave the Marvel Cinematic Universe and
I know.
Disney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm just going to look at something.
Oh yeah, making sure everything's all good. Appreciate
Yep,
it.
check in our
Yeah,
to make sure we aren't choppy or anything.
Yeah.
right. That is true. Sony
That's
only
true.
owns the movie rights, and Disney owns the merchandising rights. So they would still...
That's a big piece of
That is a big piece.
our talk, actually.
Yeah, they would still be able to, like, sell Spider-Man t-shirts and Spider-Man everything, pretty much, which would be great.
Ooh.
Alright.
Oh, okay. So many comments.
Alright, so, we're gonna... Let's open it up.
Alright.
Yeah.
So, thank you all for joining this live discussion and the facts that we've collected so far.
Right.
And so, what are your thoughts on the deal? Put it in the comments below.
Yeah,
and
we're opening it up for you guys. Open it up and let's start a live chat.
Alright,
Let's go.
this is the part where we're chatting. We obviously have a few more talking points, but we really want to hear what you guys have to say.
We really do.
Oh,
We
yeah.
have a few comments already. Do you want to look at a few of them?
Yeah.
Alright,
Let's start over here. We have... what's over here?
This one's good.
Alright, you read it.
Oh, there we go.
Alright, so Bernadette has asked, this version of Spider-Man and who he is as a person has so much to do with his relationship with Tony Stark.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
very true.
That's true.
If you remove that relationship, who does this particular Peter Parker become?
That is a huge point.
That is.
That's very important.
So, from the very beginning of this Spider-Man, he was recruited by Tony Stark, obviously.
Yeah.
In Civil War.
In Civil War and in a bunch of movies, he's been... Well, Tony Stark's been his mentor.
Right,
Which is...
And-
father figure.
Yeah.
Exactly. And they have basically set it up so that now that, spoilers for those of you who haven't seen Endgame, I'm very sorry for you if you haven't, they're basically setting him up to replace Tony now that he's gone. They
Right.
need someone to step forward and take
It
the
was
lead.
kind of their original plan.
They really do, and what I think is interesting, though, is that I think Disney has seen this particular debate coming on for a very long time.
Oh, yeah.
There's always been murky waters with the whole Spider-Man situation since
Exactly.
they
It's
bought
all
Marvel
been a little
Studios.
bit of foggy.
Yeah, so even at the beginning, Iron Man keeps trying to recruit Spider-Man to join the Avengers team, and he keeps saying, no, I don't want to be an Avenger.
Like, I got school.
It was
Yeah.
like foreshadowing the fight between Marvel and Sony almost.
Almost, yeah.
Almost.
Because he wouldn't officially join the Avengers, and he very specifically ghosted Nick Fury.
Yeah, very specifically.
Very specifically.
Very much foreshadowing there.
Right,
Yes.
so he
Alright.
obviously has had some hesitation
Right.
character-wise, which would translate to the Sony MCU debate that's been going on.
Right. But to
Uh-huh.
quickly answer this question, we have to worry that this Peter Parker would not be able to even mention Tony Stark.
Right,
So it'd be
Well,
interesting
because
to
Tony
see.
Stark wouldn't exist in that universe.
in that universe.
It would just be like he's completely gone again. It would pretty much be resetting, which is very sad.
Right, we might as well have a fourth Spider-Man at this
Alright.
point.
Ooh, I like this insight from Taylor. We could
Alright.
have something at D23 kind of fixing it.
Oh, some
I
kind of
like those
resolutions.
Oh, seriously?
That would be really
That would be
good.
really
We're hoping
awesome.
here.
We're totally hoping for some resolutions. How long have we been going? Okay, cool, we're good.
We're fine.
So,
Ooh, yeah, see, D23 is full of surprises.
yeah.
Always.
D23 has been known for the big announcements, so maybe they'll...
Obviously, back in 2015, Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, which is huge, was announced there.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
And so many other
hopefully
things.
something big is coming for that, which I would appreciate.
Right, and that we would know.
Mhm.
Honestly, I think this is a very big media is blowing it out of the water, blowing it out of proportion kind of
Right.
deal.
It could have just been a threat.
Right.
And
Honestly.
someone got wind of it. Is like,
It could have, yeah.
There have been no official announcements by Sony or Disney or even Marvel.
Right, so this is all just like speculation and rumors. Somebody told somebody who told somebody. So you have no
Now,
idea how
it's
big
like,
with
this is.
that said, it is being very tossed around in the whole talks world, so it's very
It's
very easily correct.
It's very easily. It's definitely credible sources that are coming out saying this.
Yes.
So Hollywood
Mhm.
Reporter, Entertainment,
Even like USA Today said something.
yeah,
LA
ABC
Times.
News, LA Times. So there's
There are many different sources that have their own take on the story.
the only people who don't have their own take is Disney, Marvel, and Sony.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, perfect. We'll keep looking for things at D23 to report.
yeah. So D23 seems to be everyone's bet so far. Hey, we are doing great. Thank you so much for asking. We're just having a
Oh, yeah.
Spider-Man discussion, which has been really cool.
Yeah, we're talking all things Spider-Man.
Yeah, so Matt Allen says it was ultimately over producer credits, which
That
I
would
could
make
see.
sense. A lot of
Oh, yeah.
producer, in terms of if this is anything personal, being producer and being the main person on a Spider-Man movie is a very big deal.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
And just the fact that Disney would say, we put in all the work, and Sony's like, but we have the rights, could easily be a very hefty topic in terms of what people want.
Right. So we're gonna pause for 1 second. Just. All right, we're back. I just had to make sure you guys would continue to have audio.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think we're fine.
But yeah, we're good.
Let us know in the comments if we aren't.
Yeah.
Hi, Chris.
Hi, Chris. Thanks for joining us.
Hi.
So, I think this takes us back to what were we just talking about? Foreshadowing.
Producer credit.
Producer credits.
Yes.
Thank you. So yeah, Sony and Marvel have been fighting over this for. Sony and Disney have been fighting over this for a very long time.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
and
want
Marvel-
to give credit to you guys. You have so much insight. I'm so impressed.
Yeah.
Honestly, thank you guys.
This discussion has been great. You guys have so many like really thought out responses. So we
Oh, yeah,
appreciate
and
that
ideas.
very much.
Responses, opinions.
Yeah. So Phil Bound Jackman said they'll go back to the drawing board. I have faith. Definitely.
That
Oh,
is
yeah.
nice.
And
I
there
definitely
is so much in the MCU coming out that they've announced. The timeline is so full.
Right.
With the Disney Plus series and Love and Thunder, Multiverse of Madness, all the new movies, the Elementals, all that good stuff.
Yeah. There's definitely room for some epic
Things
movies
to do.
coming. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And so,
Obviously, with Disney Plus, we have Marvel series coming out.
Oh, yeah.
So those will definitely fill up a lot of the MCU's time.
exactly.
Really, really excited for the Loki one.
Yeah. So tell me.
Anything else?
We would happily tell Mama Insider hello.
Yes.
And thank you for joining us on our chat.
Yeah.
It's good to see you.
It's good to see you.
And good night.
Yeah.
That's if it's late where you are.
And it's late where you are,
Yeah.
yeah. Good evening.
And
Anyway.
somebody said, why can't companies just get along and make awesome stuff?
Yeah,
I
you
know.
know that's really everybody's goal.
That would
but
be an ideal world.
Yeah. Well, see, so
what you have to think is that when you have two huge companies like
Sony
Disney
and-
/ Marvel and Sony,
Mm-hmm.
that there's going to be, I mean, you think about how many people are getting put into this. I'm sure there's going to be some disarray.
yeah. Well, it's interesting. So it seemed originally that Sony was kind of going downhill, and Marvel swooped in and saved the day by making Spider-Man the icon that he is in the MCU.
because Sony's
Yeah.
Spider-Man has obviously not gone well twice.
Twice, right? So it was time to save that.
Yes.
Um,
Wait, this is a good comment.
Ooh.
Sony doesn't have the filming equipment Marvel does. Therefore, Spider-Man will totally look different from what Marvel Studios can do.
That's
very
true.
If you think about just the filming style, and obviously there'll be a new director of photography, which will take a whole
Mhm.
different cinematic feel to the Spider-Man movies.
yeah.
Oh,
which
yeah.
is totally a knock because
Well, what we have is so fun and light, and energetic, and like the Venom that they've established. Some of the other characters are way darker than the Peter
Right.
Parker that we know and love right now.
Well,
And
and
keep
just
in
like-
mind, if they bring this Spider-Man, they'd have to build a bigger universe if that's what their goal is, to make a Spider-Man universe.
there's obviously a
A
Spider-Verse.
Spider-Verse already in the Sony universe. And there's Venom 1, and they'd have to expand that so much.
Right.
Yeah, they would. Oh, Taylor said she's excited for Black Widow to finally get a standalone. That's gonna be
That's
great.
very
It's
true.
gonna be amazing.
Honestly.
We're looking
Little
forward
off
to that.
topic, but like.
Well, yeah, but still
We're
MCU.
No,
excited.
totally.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
No, that's gonna be really good.
Yeah. So, but yeah, switching it back around to who has the rights, right? The MCU makes 5% of the gross profits, which is everything. That's actually a good amount of money. However, 5% when they do all the work.
Yeah, and when it makes $1 billion.
Yeah, if I was them, I would really want 50-50 too, because this is like such a beautiful partnership. I don't know why they would.
Right. I mean, I
Not
just did the
50-50.
math.
Honestly.
Disney barely made $50 million for Far From Home when they put in so much work.
And it made over $1 billion in the box office. You know,
Right.
That's not a lot.
Right, for a movie that was so successful for Disney to not get that much return. It's
Ah,
very stressful.
So, Kara, why don't you read Bernadette's question?
Alright, so Bernadette is asking, is this thing going to become a Hulk thing? Where he can appear in Marvel movies but can't have his own Marvel movie? That is an interesting question. I'm not sure that that's how that would go down.
Well-
It's definitely a possibility, as we've seen
Right.
with Mark Ruffalo's Bruce Banner
Well,
and
yeah.
slash the Hulk.
Well, yeah, because see, a way they could do it is the Spider-Man movies could be Sony, but then he could appear in the MCU, but then it gets all confusing and.
yeah.
That opens up too much of a confusing.
Funny enough,
For
though,
everybody.
there were some key things that Sony wouldn't let the MCU have control of. So the MCU was never allowed in the movies to say Spidey senses, that was a Sony thing, which is why they came up with the Peter tingle.
Right.
Because we all know that it's Spidey senses.
Right, we all know what they mean. It's just like kind of a, hey.
So it's like a comedic turn.
Right.
Exactly.
Well, and obviously, right up until that final end scene, the Daily Bugle wasn't allowed to be said.
Exactly.
That wasn't allowed to exist.
And that was a special deal made for the movie.
Right.
Right.
One of my favorite things is also MJ was actually owned as Mary Jane by Sony, which is why they created Michelle Jones as Zendaya, which is perfect.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was so good.
Well, we're
We love
huge
Zendaya.
Zendaya fans
Yeah.
to begin with, but yeah, they weren't allowed to have the iconic MJ, Mary Jane, because that's such a huge Spider-Man love interest they'd already explored in the previous Spider-Man movies.
Right.
So they created Michelle Jones, MJ,
Which is so
kind of a loophole,
literally
but
brilliant.
genius.
It's pretty much a
brilliant.
loophole in terms of contracts.
Yeah, it's seriously amazing.
Peter, I know the Peter Dingle was the best part of the movie.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Let's see. Based on what I've read from Emily, Tom Holland is working with Sony for 2 new movies, and I want to believe that's true. We'll just have to see.
Yeah. It's hard to know exactly what the contract details were.
Right, because we haven't
Right.
read it.
Like,
really
it might
don't
not
know.
even be for Spider-Man. He just might be doing a movie with Sony.
Right.
Well, that's always
what-
interesting.
yeah.
Yeah, but
One of the things I know is that he signed a contract to appear twice in a few of the MCU movies and have 2 of his own. And then Far From Home was contingent on the $1 billion. And if they didn't make the $1 billion, then everything would revert back to Sony's control. So they passed the $1 billion marker. But then when they did that, Disney's like, hey, we did it. Now we want 50-50 since we proved to you how amazing our collaboration is.
right.
We want to be equal partners.
95-5 is so tough.
Yeah, 95% Sony, 5% MCU. That's not a very good
That-
deal.
all the
That's
work.
not. I mean,
Yeah. So something definitely needs to change there.
Right.
we're not
Obviously,
quite sure. Something needs to change. We're just not sure how it's going to end up yet.
Exactly.
see, so Philip said, would the new Spider-Man ride at DCA be sponsored by Sony? I would be.
Interesting.
I would love to see that, just because there's a few things I would like about that. The first one being that because Disney owns the merchandising rights, if that passes on to theme park rides, it would kind of be interesting because they could make this epic ride and then just hand the bill to Sony for being the sponsor and the owner, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, that would be kind of hilarious.
We're doing this
Would.
epic ride and like you get to pay for it because we did the work last time. So that would be funny. But if nothing else, a Sony sponsorship, if that means that we get the ride, would be very good,
Totally
in my
happy.
opinion.
Oh, yeah.
And then Kara, read Matt Allen's comment.
Malin is saying maybe a bit short-sighted for Disney to agree for 5% in the first place. Or was that a part of getting Sony to give up Spidey to begin with? That's an interesting observation.
So what I do know is that Disney is very patient, right?
They are.
Yes.
And so the first thing they're going to do is dip their toe in Sony and the Spider-Man universe, and then they're just going to take over. Because that's kind of, I think eventually one of the things they wanted was to have control of Spider-Man and pull him into the MCU.
Right.
And the only way to get the foot in the door was to do the 5%, 95% deal.
So it's probably been a plan of theirs to step in.
But in like the
But-
10-year plan.
Yeah, but first they had to make sure that Spider-Man was actually something the fans wanted to see and got returned on.
Exactly.
Because so much of it depended on.
On the fans
On
and what
the
the fans were
fans.
thinking.
Yeah, and
Obviously, that's kind of gone into overload. Spider-Man is very successful in the MCU.
oh yeah,
Spider-Man
everyone loves Spider-Man and Tom Holland. I mean,
They're like everyone's favorite character right now.
So you guys
Seriously.
notice, Tom Holland is 4 for 5 on movies making $1 billion that he's in.
Wow.
He was in Civil War, Infinity War, Homecoming, Far From Home, and Endgame.
And the only one that didn't make it was
Homecoming. And all those other ones literally made $1 billion. I mean,
seriously.
you look at those actors, Tom Holland, and obviously Ned as well was in both of them. To be in $4 billion movies is amazing by their age.
Exactly. Hi, Tommy. Thanks for joining
Hi,
us.
Tommy.
Oh, hi Tommy.
And then, so let's see. Oh, so yeah, the percentage was definitely unfair. Marvel is doing a majority of the work with the writing and producing and creating of, and really incorporating him into the MCU and trying to make
Exactly.
him the big figure.
Exactly. He's become such an iconic part, and we've only had 4 movies. We want more.
Aww. And I was like, Kara was borderline hysterical over it all.
I know.
We were really. I mean, I read the news headline. It was like
This morning, I was like, this has to be fake. This has to be fake.
I'm like,
didn't
please,
believe it.
please, please, don't let this be real.
Yeah, we were so sad.
Like,
Yeah.
seriously, I wish it was April 1st.
Yeah, seriously, let's
April
make this an
Fool's
April Fool's
announcement.
thing.
Fool's announcement, because...
That's clever.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So,
We're fine.
yeah. So one of the things that I started to think about,
Was
Lost train of thought?
I lost my train of thought.
you know that's
Okay.
Before
just
we're back.
okay.
Well,
I'll come up with it and bring it back up in a
we'll
second.
bring it back. Okay.
Yeah. But, yeah, it's
Yeah, it's
This
been
is-
a tough day.
Seriously.
it's been a tough day where we figured
All
this out.
things considered.
We're like, oh my goodness, what's going on?
What's gonna happen without our Spider-Man? We love our Spider-Man.
So
We
we've been
do.
collecting all the information we
See,
can,
we're so
just kind of hoping that it wasn't true. But like,
yeah, so Tommy is hoping this is just a negotiation tactic. So it could
exactly.
very easily be Sony saying, you know, what happens when you say no to the mouse, right? And just kind of testing the waters.
Well, if you think about it, what we know is that they had their original 95-5 deal. Very
Right.
not fair. But
But that was the deal they made.
then, yeah, that was,
Yeah.
but,
So-
you know. But what I'm here to say is, Disney proposed the 50-50 deal, and obviously that was just a proposal. It never happened because Sony doesn't
Right.
like that.
Of course.
But Sony's counter offer could have just been to change it.
Right? Like 45-65 or something that's a little more fair than 5.95.
Right. Well, because
Right.
if Disney still like owns 90 or 5% of the stock, how much of that deal can be made?
Oh. So Taylor said she was so mad when she found out, and Matt Allen's hoping that it's just pre-D23 hype, which could actually be a really great marketing
Yeah,
tactic.
like this would be a great marketing tactic if that's what happened.
Yeah, that's really true.
It's
Yeah.
like, Tom Holland, where are you at with those spoilers? We need spoilers on this deal.
Yeah,
Right.
thank you. Tom
That would
Holland's
be
the
really-
spoiler master, and he's
Please, dude, we're begging you here.
been very quiet on the whole ordeal. I'm sure he's
Yeah.
like not allowed to say a lot of things.
Yeah. See, even 70-30 would be fine.
Like, seriously.
It's better than what they have.
Anything more than 5% would be better.
Yeah, exactly. 50. Yeah, see, 50-50.
50-50 would be totally fair.
Yeah.
Or we could just go the route of 100% Disney, since they did
Create the
do it.
MCU
Yeah.
and
We're,
make it
we're not
amazing.
gonna go there.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
But 100-0, that would be quite nice. I really just want Disney to swoop in and buy him, because like, I
Honestly.
think that'd be so cool. And then they have all the freedom to do
Right.
whatever they want.
Right.
That would make it so much
tons
easier.
more Spider-Man
But of
movies.
course, Sony's made Into the Spider-Verse and Venom, so they can't give up all the rights, or
Exactly.
else
Right.
we wouldn't get
Oh,
another
what's happening?
Spider-Verse.
It's fine.
Oh,
It just kind of glitches. You probably saw a glitch. Just trust in the system.
Sounds good. Sorry about the glitch, if there is a glitch, everyone.
We're
Oh,
fine.
dear.
But I think we're fine.
Yeah. See,
Yeah, sorry about that.
it's gonna come and go. Yeah. See that?
Yeah, our stream rate just dropped incredibly. Hold on.
We'll get through it, guys.
1 second while we get our feedback.
Okay, we're back. We're back.
Alright, we're back in climbing.
Okay.
Cool.
Sorry,
Sorry
guys,
about that.
yes.
Yes. Oh dear.
Hopefully we're back in business in 1 second.
Random
Hey,
technology.
thank you for sharing our stream, Alexis. We
You rock.
appreciate it. You rock.
Oh yeah.
Alright, hopefully we're back to
Yeah.
a normal high quality stream. If
Alright.
not, we will wait 1 second while it comes back.
We will wait. We're watching here.
Oh,
to make
yeah,
sure.
it's glitching hard.
It's okay. Look, we're climbing.
The stream rate's climbing.
Okay.
All right.
Hopefully we're back.
Okay.
And
This is looking a little less pixelated.
So, on this device, it tells us what our stream rate is. We've been at 5,000 the whole time, and we dropped all the way down to 300.
yeah. So, but look, we're back. We're
but-
back. We're fine.
But yeah,
We're
it
back
just
to
climbed all the way
1,000.
up,
That's pretty
back
stable.
up to 1,100. We're getting stronger.
It's going up.
It's going up steadily. Sorry about that, everyone.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah. See, Sony has definitely done a few good things with Spider-Man, with what they own.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Oh yeah.
you know, all the characters they own. Thank you.
Awesome.
we're
Yes,
back.
we're back.
You guys
Thank you,
rock.
everyone.
Thank
are
you
the
guys
best.
for the feedback on telling us that we're back.
But just what I was saying.
Bernadette said Tom Holland has gone radio silent because he doesn't have Benedict to censor him.
Honestly,
Truth.
all the things
Honestly,
you saw, they're
truth.
like, eh. But yeah,
He's like,
Okay.
here, I better not say anything, so I'm just not gonna. I don't want to say anything wrong, so I'm just not gonna say.
One of the things we actually talked about is that they've been trying to set up Spider-Man be Tony Stark and take over the Avengers.
Yes,
Right.
take
So,
over the role
if-
of leader.
If we take out Spider-Man, who else is there? Right?
Of course, we
That
have
isn't. Ooh.
the Falcon, who is now Captain America.
Right, because he was passed down the shield, so the Falcon is a good candidate.
We always have
the White
Rhodey.
Wolf / Winter Soldier would always be like
Right.
those are
Well, those are Captain America figures.
And
those
then
are Captain America figures.
Well, then
Like,
there's
they
War
all-
Machine, but I was thinking it would be somebody like Scarlet Witch,
Scarlet Witch would be a good choice.
or what's
Doctor
his name,
Strange.
Doctor Strange,
I
or
have-
even the Black Panther, although he's kind of in control of Wakanda right now.
Right, he
Yeah,
kind of
he's
has
got-
his own thing.
he's got Wakanda to worry about.
I have 2
All right.
options. Actually, 3 if you want to go. Pepper Potts, Morgan Stark, or Harley.
Oh,
Morgan Stark.
Morgan Stark. That would be brilliant.
I would
man.
love to time jump to the Morgan Stark is like an older version of her dad. I mean, who better to follow in Iron Man's footsteps than his daughter?
Right?
That would be really good.
That would be really good.
No,
And
we
then
cannot hedge
Pepper
our
already
bets.
has the rescue suit. We've seen her in it in action, and let me just say, she was epic.
She was totally epic.
She was totally cool.
Mm-hmm.
But to link back to Spider-Man, we have to wonder, in any sense, the bad guys that we've gotten from Spider-Man so far, being the Vulture and Mysterio, are not some of the best Spider-Man villains, as heard from the comics. So if you think about it, Dr. Octopus and Green
Oh yeah,
Goblin
and
Yeah.
all the Sinister Six.
We don't have the
Sinister Six.
iconic Spider-Man villains.
You think about all the
because
Spider-Man
Sony
things we
does
see.
still own that.
Exactly.
Right.
Bernadette said she loves this 3000.
Yeah.
Yes.
Harley.
Yeah.
That's who I
Harley
said.
Keener. He would.
Harley would be perfect.
There have been rumors of him becoming Iron Lad. I don't know if that's just like
Rumors or what, but
the fans being wishful, but
Yeah.
like
It seems like wishful thinking to me. I hate
yeah,
to say
Eric.
it.
Sophia over here on YT said the kid from Tony Stark's funeral could be the
oh
new
yeah,
Iron Man.
if it's not Peter, then totally.
Oh, and Chris Goldham asked if we were going to be at D23. That is the goal. We're
Having a little trouble with tickets.
yes,
But-
They sold out like
super fast like that.
We
So-
have a few things that
like
we're working.
Thanos snapped his fingers and
All the tickets are
all the
gone.
tickets
Gone.
got
But-
busted.
But
We're hoping.
we're hoping to be there, and if not, we will make sure to still report tons of D23 stuff.
Oh yeah,
However,
Obviously,
our goal is to be there.
our
so
goal is to be there.
we'll
you'll
see.
Hopefully
We'll hopefully
us.
see you there.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, and
Oh,
we
yes.
actually we have a tons of pre D23 hype, even an event that we're
A
going to.
pre-party for D23 that we were invited to. That's gonna be good.
Surprise.
It's a surprise event.
Surprise event.
You guys are going to be very excited.
It's very cool.
It's so cool.
awesome.
We have some awesome things coming
Eric.
up.
Don't be Tom Holland.
Yeah, don't be Tom Holland and spoil it. You gotta keep it on the DL.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right.
see, that's definitely an option if Spidey's out of the MCU.
Right now, Spidey is still
Yeah.
my number one choice to take over the
Just
Iron
'cause
Man
I loved
mantle
it.
because
Just
I
because-
love him.
And Far From
Uh,
Home was a masterpiece.
Exactly.
Oh my god, I loved it.
Yeah.
But wow,
Yeah. We have
covered a
of ground.
lot.
Yeah.
Jinx.
This has
I
been
know.
awesome.
Someone else. Oh, I just thought of it. Someone we haven't mentioned who could take it over.
I can't.
Male or
think of-
female?
I don't remember. I keep
That's
wanting
all
to say Black Widow, but she did.
But she did. Yeah. Sorry.
She did. Oh, who is it?
Hawkeye has his own business.
Hawkeye's got his own stuff
His-
going on.
his-
However,
Female.
So this is actually a really cool story. Fine.
Sorry. Valkyrie just took over as Queen of New Asgard.
That's true.
So
Yeah.
there is a good possibility for her coming on as an Avenger.
That's true, but I think she kind of has her own domain.
I
You
know
what
she
mean?
does, but like, if we're talking all possibilities here,
Right, that's true.
one of them.
I don't see her being an Iron Man though. She, no offense, but she's not.
Oh,
like-
She's
not
so Thor.
an Iron Man, but she could.
Totally be
Be
like
a
a
leader.
leader.
Oh, well, obviously we have new leaders from the MCU, but in terms of Iron
Like
Man,
there was so much of the
I'll be right
passing
back.
down of the torch
I'm checking. You guys
in,
can chat. I'm just checking some.
in Endgame.
okay. Don't block the light. Anyway,
All right.
Are we
Hold
done
on one
with
second.
We might have an atom-shaped
40.
shadow on us.
Okay.
Yeah.
anyways, yeah. All
I'm back.
things considered, I trust Disney and Marvel Studios to make the best of the future Iron Man situation if we cannot have
Well,
Spider-Man.
And Thor: Love and Thunder is going to be really interesting because we're going to have
Jane Foster,
Jane
and
Foster.
Valkyrie.
and Valkyrie.
in the same movie, and they've
And Chris Hemsworth.
and they've already confirmed that Jane Foster is going to become
Female Thor.
Female Thor.
That's gonna be rad.
Or I think she's called the Mighty Thor.
yeah,
instead of
the
just
Mighty Thor instead of just Thor, something
Right.
like that.
There's semantics of it.
There it is,
There's-
but that's going to be epic.
Ooh, as Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh my
I
goodness.
need that.
That's gonna be amazing.
We do know Chris Hemsworth signed like another 4-movie deal. One
Yeah.
of those being Love and Thunder, and I'm pretty sure they even announced one of them was Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Oh yeah,
So let's hope we see
He's
that.
got to be there because he went off on his mission joining them. That was so random.
seriously. Although
either way.
low-key hoping that Loki comes back.
Hey, that'd be great. Yeah,
See what I did there?
there's so much that they announced in terms of the MCU, considering all the new Disney Plus shows and the new movies, and all of Phase 4 was pretty much announced. And if you notice, when they announced Phase 4, there was no Spider-Man on that list,
Right.
unfortunately. There was
Right.
no Spider-Man
No
at
They
all.
did not
Spider-Man
announce
at all.
anything.
They weren't allowed to make any plans because they didn't know what their future would
They had
look
no
like.
idea what the future would look like for Spider-Man. So I think this has been a long time coming. We're just finally getting wind of it.
Yeah, that's
Ooh.
probably true.
I don't know if we will get Fat
But-
Thor.
uh,
That's a good
ooh.
question.
So what were you going to say?
What I want to say is life is long, and so while I'm hoping that it's not that the fiasco part was that Spider-Man in the MCU was short, rather where this fight is short, is what I'm hoping for.
Yeah.
So this isn't the end of Spider-Man in the MCU. Hopefully it's a pause.
It's a pause.
It is.
Yeah, I can
Like-
see that.
And it's just like looking back at your weird face is what Sony did.
Yeah. Hi, Oliver.
Hi, Oliver.
Hi.
I am not sure if we'll be at Disneyland tomorrow, but we hope so. We
Hopefully.
want to go as often as we can.
We do.
Always.
Always, we are
We're there.
obsessed. What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
school
Yesterday.
started.
Yesterday was our first day of school, so we can't pop over as much as we liked because now we have work to do and it's not summer and whatever. But yeah.
We'll still be there
Yeah.
as much as we can.
Oh yeah.
Because we can go after school. Perks of living super close.
Yeah.
We can go after our schoolwork is done for the day, or even before sometimes if we stay up late working. But yeah, at the moment we're back in school, so it's a little, our schedule is a little less than usual.
Definitely.
Yeah, did you guys see our first day of school picture that we
It was
posted
pretty
today?
It was so fun.
I don't know if you guys saw
Splash
it,
Mountain.
but we put it up on all social media. It was us on Splash
The
Mountain.
books. It was so aesthetic. I was like so happy with us.
Yeah.
We nailed it. Anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is our really 45-minute long, drawn-out discussion about Spider-Man. One last question before we go. What do you guys think is going to happen?
Yeah.
What do you hope is going to happen, and what do you think is going to happen?
Yes.
Yes.
Those are
Okay.
unfortunately possibly two very different.
So
outcomes.
logically, how you think it's gonna happen. Emotionally, how you want it to happen.
Exactly.
Two very different things.
Two very
Now,
different things.
My logical brain is thinking this is just a pause, because I honestly think that even if it reverts back to Sony, I think Spider-Man has so much more story left to be told in the MCU.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And the fans are so obsessed with this storyline that we've established that we're not going to let it go
You
silently.
think about Far From Home, and his character was just beginning to develop in the way that he
Mhm.
was taking on the Spidey sense, Peter Tingle, and really trusting himself as who he was, obviously,
and being-
without Tony Stark.
Created, I mean, this Spider-Man's legacy is really based off of Tony Stark. So, you know, having that Spider-Man without Tony Stark is going to be, like, difficult.
It will. It'll
Definitely.
be very, very hard.
And we made our first day school picture her lock screen. That's so cool.
Aww.
And
Yeah, we're still.
yeah, that's awesome.
Anyway, but yeah. Mm,
Ooh, Matt Allen. All right, Carrie, you read this one.
Okay. I get all them at once.
You do.
Matt Allen thinks it's all media hype. They'll get the deal done because Sony knows they can't match what Disney has done, and they know that it's easy money letting Disney continue.
Yeah,
That is very true.
we're totally in. I
Like,
mean,
if you're already getting that much of the profits, why not just let them keep making
Come
more
on.
movies?
it's the first Spider-Man movie to crack $1 billion. Why would you just say,
Exactly.
oh,
why-
it almost feels like Sony's like, oh, thanks for all your hard work, we're going to run off this way with it. And it's
man,
like,
it's not gonna work.
that's not going to work.
It's like that one kid taking all the credit for the group project.
The Sharks always say, would you rather have 95% of the grape
Ooh.
Yeah.
or watermelon?
Exactly.
Exactly.
See, that's important.
So,
So,
one of the things
yeah.
Dad just said, Eric, why
What
don't you
Dad
repeat
just
it?
said is, in terms of like the investor world, they say, would you rather own 95% of a little grape, or would you rather own 30% of
A
a
watermelon.
watermelon, or even like a grape farm that's huge?
Or
And
grapefruit.
yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
There's a lot of density to that statement, obviously, saying
Yeah, if you own 100% of this tiny little company, or you can own 30% of this massive empire that they built.
because
So
if
yeah.
they
And just start
did
breaking in.
a new deal where Disney was 70-30, they're still making a lot of money
Yeah,
at Sony.
Disney would then run with it and do everything imaginable, and Sony would just be raking in the profits.
So,
See, look, our stream rate is back up to 5,000%. I have no idea why it went all the way
Yes.
down to 300. Sorry about
we're just
that.
gonna
Yeah,
pretend
we
that
have no
didn't
idea.
happen.
What
A
happened?
little glitchy phase. Very sorry.
I know.
But yeah,
Mom's with Matt.
Yeah, Mom's totally with Matt. I'm with Matt.
I'm with
I'm
Honestly.
with Matt.
It totally feels
Seriously.
like media hype that's been blown out of proportion, and they're just gonna figure it out.
That's all we
Yeah.
can hope, really.
Hopefully. But,
Yeah.
also my logical brain is really, really worried that Sony's just gonna take it.
Take it and run.
Like, you know that one kid in the group project that takes all the credit for the work that you do?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
Mhm.
They could be that one kid in the group project. But
we will have to see
us
how it
fans
goes.
know the truth. We know that he's only who he is because of the MCU.
Exactly.
So,
Hi, Julie.
hi Julie, thanks for joining
Hi,
us.
Julie.
Wow,
Yeah,
we've been streaming a while.
We have.
And we
Yeah,
have
I know.
covered so much ground. Like,
I
that's
know.
coming back to us and to you guys.
and to you guys, a 45-minute
seriously.
stream. Thank you to all you people who've been sticking around since before the stream even started when we tried out with all those other streams.
Yeah, seriously.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Appreciate it.
much.
We're much better now. We've
It's
obviously had
all
our big
back up
stream.
and running.
I think it's a good place to sign off. I think we covered all the ground necessary. Unless you
Alright.
guys have anything else you want to say, I think
If
we're going to
there's
sign off
anything you
here.
want to add, we'll give you
Yeah.
a little bit.
But yeah,
Couple
But-
clicks.
thank you all so much for joining us on this live
Seriously,
stream.
it's been
Honestly,
so
It's been
great.
fun. Yeah. You
Yeah.
know what, you're right. Sony had so many opportunities.
With
With-
Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, and I don't know, they just didn't do as well.
Yeah, and so handing it over to the MCU and saying, hey, you guys run with it, hire Tom Holland, get this perfect. I think that's really what happened and what should continue to
Oh
happen.
yeah,
Yeah,
they
see,
totally told
Kevin's
them
exactly
Tom
right.
Holland, 'cause-
Wait, what did Kevin say? Yeah, money solves every problem. You're not wrong.
True,
No.
true.
Yeah, Sony
would be
yeah,
naive to think that.
they can create what Marvel, the MCU, was created.
Because honestly, they've such improved the Spider-Man that we've seen in cinematic history.
Exactly.
Their last attempts were not good.
Not as good, especially not as good as the MCU. You can't compare. They created this empire of movies that's untouched by anyone else ever in cinematic history. And that's my very unbiased opinion.
So anyway, here's hoping that
Yeah.
we get that. Yeah,
We love teenage Spider-Man.
Yes,
We
I
love
mean,
his
Kid who's in
young
high
kid
school.
in high school.
he's relatable.
He is. He's
Yeah.
relatable.
Yeah. No, making him the adult really didn't do as much wonders as the kid, because in terms of character development, that just sets him up to grow so much and to learn.
Yeah.
It's really the first time we've seen the main character be a kid.
Yep.
Mhm.
Exactly.
That'd be
Because it gives them so much room to grow as a character.
good. Yeah.
I agree.
As they become more mature, more adult,
Yeah.
more powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Well, thank you all
You
so
guys
much.
rock.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. This
We
was
had a great time.
Thank
great
you
live stream.
for joining our discussion on the Sony and MCU/Disney debacle that's been going on.
Yeah.
We appreciate it.
And
And the standoff for what it means for the future
this
of
is
Spider-Man.
where we say goodbye.
You guys
Yep.
rock. We love you
Yes.
3,000.
We
love
do.
you
We love you
3,000.
3,000.
Have a
And
great night, guys.
Fingers crossed for the future of Spider-Man.
Yeah. Hopefully everything